Greetings, viewers. On behalf of my employer, I welcome you to this episode of Unsealed and Revealed. This is a web series from Sideshow, in which myself and two other fellow employees with Sideshow will reveal to you a brand new 6-scale figure from within the 6-scale universe. I'm the host, Terry Smith, and with me, as always, from the coast of California, are my fellow compatriots, Paul Hernandez and Guy Klender. Greetings, gentlemen.
Terry, did you skip the morning coffee? What's going on? Okay, what's going on over there, buddy? Are you all right?
Morning coffee. I did, in fact, skip the morning coffee, Guy.
I believe you should hydrate. Why don't you hydrate? Paul, does he sound a little off, or is it just me?
I like
very
this,
cold and
Terry,
calculated.
personally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, sorry about that, guys. That was a close one. Jeez,
Oh,
okay.
Thank goodness.
Too bad we didn't catch that before the show. Dang. Okay. Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to Unsealed and Revealed. Yeah. We got that out of the way. But, yeah, you understood what I was saying despite the odd delivery there. But, yeah, thanks for bringing me back to reality there, gentlemen. We are going to be doing a awesome 6-scale figure for you today. Also, I should point out before I pass this off to Guy, tomorrow is another big day for us at Unsealed and Revealed. We are going to be doing a special episode that we're calling Hobnobbing with the Stars. Paul, do you want to tell us a little bit more about that? Because it seems pretty cool, everything that I know about it.
I do, yes. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Sideshow Standard Time, everyone, we will be showcasing some of Hollywood's most timeless stars and the figures and maybe other pieces that are based off of them. It's going to be fun. We may have some giveaways. You're just going to have to tune in tomorrow. But I can promise you that Alan, super producer Alan, and Michael and Sam have put their full consciousness into thinking of how to elevate this, because it's Academy season, it's Oscar season, Terry and Guy. So we're gonna have some fun with this one tomorrow. So tune in, bring your coffee. I personally liked the Terry that we just saw. It was concise. It was matter of fact. I think we should do all of our shows like that. Tomorrow might be a little different. Terry's gonna be in a bow tie, I've heard.
Sure. I can
Yes,
go shopping
as we know, Terry is a bow tie kind of guy.
I said it live, so now you have to do it.
Oh, now it's done. Okay, that makes it gospel.
But as always, everyone, we are live for today's show for the EXO-6 Spock on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. If you guys have any questions about this killer piece, please let us know in the chats, and I'll relay them to the guys here. And if it is your first time here, please say hello, and maybe we'll get Terry Smith, if we can get him in between breaths between this awesome figure, to give you guys a shout out. Welcome if it's your first time, everyone. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. I'm pretty stoked about this. I hadn't seen the Mirror episode in decades until right before this show, and I'd forgotten how cool it is. Guy, without further ado, why don't you share with us what you've got in front of you? The packaging looks stellar.
It's beautiful. We've really lucked out. EXO-6 has been really churning these out at a really quick pace to obviously keep us very, very excited. This is the first member of the original series we're seeing. I know that we are going to see a lot more. And this one beams in from the Terran Empire. Yes, the famous Mirror episode. Right there on the front and wraps around, as you see there, is a photo of the figure that you will have inside the box. Also, right up top on here, we're going to get this beautiful collage of all of the characters done as a wraparound. You see, as I'm turning that around, you see it catching that light on the foil design that says Original Series, Trek. On the very back of the box is going to tell you the contents, show you a little bit of what's inside there as well. And then down here on the other side of the box, panning down a little bit, we're going to get the Starfleet Museum, and that is also a foil. Now, we're going to slide this up and off, because there's a few other things that EXO-6 is doing with the box that are great. Now, first up, it's going to be that window box design, letting us see inside our Mirror Spock and his accessories. When you go onto the back, you're going to have the credits of the creative team involved behind it. And then as you pan down, you're going to see that QR code. They've added these to their packaging. If you click on that or use your camera to do it, it's going to take you to a specific page of the EXO-6 site and tell you a little bit more about some of their stuff, particularly this one. But without further ado, let's beam him on board. So you rewatched Mirror Mirror. And what did you think?
Yes, I did. It holds up really well. It's and most especially because I was reminded while watching it that back in the 80s, was it after Star Trek 3? No, it was after Star Trek 2. DC Comics had dropped a Star Trek comic book series that I just devoured. And in that comic book series, we got to see a revisit from the Terran Empire. I think that it's been so long that I don't remember many of the details, but there was actually an incursion of the Terran Empire into the Federation timeline. And it was a remarkable story from what I remember. I'd really like to dig through my boxes and see if I can track that down so that I could read it again. It's really dug being able to go back into that world, especially if I don't know if you realize, but we are actually seeing the Mirror universe. The Terran Empire made a comeback in Discovery, in Star Trek Discovery.
Exactly. We've been revisiting the Mirror universe a few times, and
very effectively.
Yeah, and I dig it. I'm like yourself. I actually, my father and I would watch this obviously in reruns when I was a kid, and Trek was a big thing. And my good friend at home is a huge Trek fan. I think he actually burned his fingers how quickly he had to click the pre-order for this one. He did not want to. He did not want to miss out. This is absolutely incredible. What I'd like to start in is an amazing portrait. Michael, if we can zoom in there. Spock, as we saw with Terry's fantastic portrayal of Mr. Spock on the top of the show, is a very contemplative and very determined character.
Yeah.
Particularly when he is Spock in the Terran Empire as well. And this has that very contemplative, very direct look. When you and I are deep in thought of this and the other, the eyes tend to focus actually pretty darn close, within about 5 or 6 feet of us. And so they've done that in this stare here, that you have that this isn't a looking off in the distance. This is the contemplative. And well, you watched the episode. Yes. I love that, where he's trying to figure out exactly what to do with Kirk.
Yes, and you can actually sense you can predict the future release of a Terran Empire Kirk in the future, and actually having the two figures interact with that gaze being as focused as it is. It'll be a lot of fun to pose these two figures together.
Exactly. I think we are, you and I are very excited to see more and more of these, and I know that they have hinted that we will return to this. But let's take a look at that portrait from all angles, and I am going to turn that around again. Talked about that look and that gaze. He had the brows up like that. That was a Vulcan style thing, but it's even more intense here. That signature haircut. And yes, this is something I did in high school called the Star Trek sideburn, where it's cut in a small point.
You would.
I did.
Nice.
That's why my hair was taken away, because I abused it and did things I shouldn't, like Star Trek hair.
That's what you did.
We got to take your hair. And so it got repossessed. That'll happen. But as we turn it around, it's absolutely beautiful. He did have that, it was pretty much jet black hair that he had, but this is still done in a color scheme that correctly hits the light and everything else. But then, of course, we get down into the goatee. This was a big deal. We're in episode 29 at this point here, and pop, up comes Spock. They're beamed in, and suddenly he has this facial hair, and something is very, very different, almost something amiss. Beautiful sculpt on that, and a beautiful paint job on it as well.
Yeah, I think I'm actually marveling right now at the texture of the hair. I'm loving how fine the individual strands are. It really reads, it downscales nicely. It looks really, really cool. I'm digging the ears. They're very much on point. We have a question from Kevin. We have a question from Kevin Ng on Facebook about the ears. How sharp are they, Guy? Do a little. Can you prick your finger on the ears?
Well,
good?
They are sculpted nice and tight. They're not bouncing and wiggling or anything like that. They are beautiful. This is a great one. The Vulcan was such a big deal with the ear thing. There's so much Trek lore. For as much Star Wars lore we have so much Star Trek lore as well. And I know the ears were a big thing. The studio saying, "What's with the ears?" and all of that. I don't quite get that. But there you go. There's a beautiful Look at that. I mean, the detail into the way the ear is done is fantastic. Great side profile. If the Terran Empire ever did a series of mugshots, you'd have a to the front, to the side, and he'd hold a little number or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, great. Now, we work our way down, and now let's take a look at that outfit. This was, obviously the beard was the first thing that we see on the character in the show that lets us know something is very, very different. But then this uniform changed. Now, the color didn't change, but the style definitely changed. This was actually kind of like what we saw, you know, dress uniforms as far as a jacket like that. It's got the gold piping down the front and around the neck. And look at how just clean and tight that is. EXO-6 has put a huge amount of time, effort, and design into the uniforms of all of these characters. And you can tell. They fit perfectly. They look ridiculously screen accurate. If you were to, you know, go to a museum and see the actual you know, jacket worn by Leonard Nimoy, my bet is that the stitching would be identical. They're that intense on it. There on the front, we're seeing the Terran Empire logo here up on the front, and then you have his awards on the other side. Now, these are permanently attached. These are not something that is removable. Working our way down, we have that golden sash. This is a textured fabric. Now, this is hand-tied on there. Yes. If you saw me earlier moving it around, yes, you can move it around, okay? It's not sewn into place or anything like that. What that allows us to do is, you know, kind of position it the way we want. And you see down at the front, you see that little black rectangular piece on either side?
Oh,
and
yeah,
those
yeah,
are little
yeah.
magnets. If you've seen the other earlier EXO-6 when they'll do the magnets for them, for their accessories and such, they're often done inside the pant. However, in this episode, they're actually on the outside of the jacket. And so they've done those there, and we are obviously going to show this off, but that's there. Nice tight cuff down on the edge. Look at how nice that is. There is a Velcro closure that holds this closed. And then up on the top by the portrait, a little bit of an ascot scarf style that he had. Another thing that lets you know something was quite different. Done in a very, very deep blue, almost black, but a very, very, very deep blue on there as well. Okay, and that is not permanently sewn on there. That's actually laid on there over, but it is connected for you so it'll stay in shape. But if you do need to move it when you're posing, you're able to do that. We work our way down onto the pant. We've got that trim Star Trek pant design. Again, beautifully tailored.
Very signature look there, yeah.
Very, very signature look. And then I know, Terry, a lot of times on our show, we say, oh, do you have a phaser? Oh, do you have a little dagger? One thing I do know that you have, that this figure has, is the thigh-high black leather boots. I do know that you have those.
That wasn't for public knowledge, Guy.
Oh, but they're not in black, folks. So it's, you know what, Terry, let's skip that. Let's skip it because they're not screen accurate. They're not screen accurate. So, but nonetheless, let's take a look at that boot, because this is some really incredible design here. Again, things that, you know, definitely changed the look of the figure. We're used to a short boot, kind of a 3/4 boot with most of the Trek, and then we get this all the way up to the knee. This is all done in a faux leather. Look at all of the stitching on there. Okay, this is not one solid molded piece or anything like that. When we go into articulation, we're going to talk about it, but that is a ball jointed ankle, and you're going to be able to swivel, move, tilt, lift, all of that with that, and still keep that great shape. All right. Now, I'm going to move the figure off to the side, and we're going to talk a little bit about the accessories. First up is one that EXO-6 has been doing that I think is really a neat thing, and that is their stand. It is a traditional style stand that we're seeing. Yes. They're doing these as individual transporter pads, okay, which is a neat idea, but they're also including a little layover. Okay. Overlay. What you'll do is you lift off this section, lay that underneath, and it'll lay nice and flat on there. If you get a multiple of figures, they can combine into one large transporter pad. Underneath your figure, you're going to have this little bag. Okay, this little bag here is the little clips that will attach all of the bases together if you use a multiple of bases. All right, setting that off to the side, let's take a look at some of the next ones. First up, okay, there we go. Hey, there you go. Man, Michael is already on it on the close-ups here. All right, let's take a look.
Of course.
We are going to have right and left fist. The figure is going to come with a relaxed right and left hand on it. You also have the flat palm or the Terran salute.
I will not be doing the Terran salute on
Don't
camera
do the
today.
Terran salute. Let's hold off on the Terran salute. But the fact of the matter is, you do have that option. Or crossing guard Spock. Stop, children. No, wait to cross. It could be crossing guard Spock. That wasn't in the episode, but it's more expanded universe stuff. We do have another fun and unique hand, and that is the left hand. Whoops, I'm going to move this over.
Mind meld.
And that is going to be, yes, our mind meld.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when we get another of our original series figures, we'll be able to utilize that a little bit more. But the fact is, we do have it. I think that's great.
That's the thing. But yeah, I just remembered that he mind melds with McCoy in that episode.
Mind melds with McCoy in that. He does a few pretty unique things, and they have included things like that, kind of hinting that, guess what? Yeah, you're going to be able to recreate these scenes. Don't you worry. We'll have stuff coming. You have more of an open palm. Okay, this isn't necessarily a relaxed, but it is a hint of a gesturing. Okay, more of a holding style hand. We are going to have a right hand that you see there. Now, this is unique, and then it holds a really horrific device called an agonizer. I'm just going to set that in there for the moment, but I'm going to later have Michael do a close-up on this one.
Oh, I do have one of those laying around here.
You do have it. Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you were going to say I was the agonizer.
It's in the torture room.
That's my job on the
Yeah,
show.
Paul often refers to me as the agonizer.
Agonizer Supreme.
This is
It's not
true.
just Paul, guys.
But it
not
is a
just Paul.
wild part of the episode that when they are displeased with you and your job performance, you carry this around and you hand it to them so they can torture you. Really wild. We see that right in the very, very beginning with one of the crew members who's got the red shirt on, which is why I chose to cover up my red shirt today, knowing that producer Alan or somebody would come in and try and do the same thing.
I own exactly 0 red shirts, Guy. Or washes me out.
You gotta cover it up on a
not
show
my
like
color.
this. You can't do a Star Trek show in
Not
a
my
red
color.
shirt. But as you can see, Michael, I'm going to just hold that up. Again, I said I've put it in the hand. Of course, it is not molded in the hand. I will remove it for you, but I do love that they've given you that special hand for it. There it is. It does have the little curve on the back. So that's just that's one of the hands and 2 of the accessories that you see there, and you're also going to have your phaser holding hands, phaser and dagger hand.
Must.
All right, which is great. Now, let's talk about that. We're talking phasers and daggers. Let's first talk about the Terran dagger. It's going to be the sheath. You know what side is what. That faces outward. The magnet is on the back. I'm going to put that on the figure in a moment. Dagger fits right inside. Just neat.
Very simple, very mean looking.
Hopefully you
dagger.
can see
I
my
think you'll
hand
call it a
behind there. That
cool
is an
looking-
empty handle. This is the way the prop was. Okay. And I am going to just magnetically set that on there. Next up, man, these are great. Love this thing. I love this.
I'm really shocked that I don't own one. I should own one of those.
I don't
make
understand why you don't. Some of us here own multiple. And technically this is a phaser, but it is 2 phasers. If you watch the original series, and that's probably why you're here today, you know that this is a Type 1 and a Type 2. Type 2, when they are connected like this, Type 1 is the little kind of cricket style that also removes magnetically. Okay? So it's really cool that you are able to put those together as such, and I'm going to attach that to the figure now.
I just want to tell you right now, Guy, that I appreciate the Men in Black reference with the cricket style. It's
The cricket with cricket style?
just slide that right in there, man. It's very, very sick of you.
Well,
badass gun.
I'm glad you appreciated it. All right, so let's take a look.
A quick question for you, Guy, if you don't
Yes.
mind, while I've got you here. Do we know what material the boots are made of? Marco Polo from YouTube is wondering this. So if you have any, do you have any idea what the, can you share with us some thoughts on what the material is?
I'm going to say that this is a vegan-friendly leather, probably. This is probably not real leather. It's an artificial leather. That's usually what we're seeing in the 6-scale design. Okay. So my bet is that would be what we're getting in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Now,
thank you.
Let's take a look at what we can do with Mr. Spock. Okay. First up, let's take a look at the articulation points. I'm going to move some other stuff off to the side here.
And before you do that, I just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of newcomers to the show, Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mitchell Lawrence from YouTube. He's currently watching from the UK in London, which is...
You stayed up.
Probably my favorite city in the world that I've been to so far. Yeah, I'm really aching to go back to London. So thanks very much for joining us today, Mitchell. And another first-time viewer is Universal Ash, also on YouTube, says, yep, first time here for EXO-6 goodness. Howdy, everybody. Howdy. Universal Ash.
Howdy.
I'm wondering if Ash is your actual name, which if it is, that's really cool. Shop smart, shop S-Smart. Yeah, so anybody else out there who's a first-time viewer, feel free to chime in. We'd love to give you a shout-out when we get a break in the show. With that, Guy, please proceed with talking to me about the points of articulation.
Are you able to see
yes,
magnetically attached phaser on? As I said, remember, this is not permanently attached in one spot, so you will be able to move it around. Our Terran dagger also.
He's really got some bling.
Bam! Just magnetically on there. You know, we need more sashes. People need to wear sashes more. I agree. It's true. It's true. Let's take a look. So, all right, I'm going to lift the arms up. This is not something we ever saw Spock do, but you are able to lift these babies straight up like that. You do have a ratchet arm. Now, we talked a little bit about how dedicated EXO-6 is to the uniforms. And because they are so dedicated to the uniform, they've actually created a brand new body in order to be able to get that clothing to lay just the way they want to. It's kind of an extension on the shoulder, which is really neat. We are going to have the butterfly joint there on the shoulder. We're able to go upward and backward. Again, you're not going to be spinning this all the way around, seeing that, well, you know, he's got a cloak on, or a tunic on. All right, double joint.
Look at that.
On the elbow.
That is some range of motion, my friend.
Double joint on there. You can see we do have the classic wrist peg design on there. We're also able to swivel bicep if we're holding any of our gadgets.
That range of motion transcends uncommon and moves straight into rare, my friend. That's really an achievement.
I like what they've done. I'm going to lift this up out of the way so we can show you the chest articulation that you are able to lean to the side. We are able to twist.
I'm not doing that today either, guys.
You're not twisting? You're not twisting?
I might
if
twist,
I didn't
but I'm not
say it
lean.
right at the top of the show, we've got a ball joint style head.
Single ball or double ball? Looks like single.
It is a single ball. What's neat about this, and Terry, this is where that, particularly with Spock, probably more than a lot of other figures we've get, is that little head turn and that little inquisitive look that we get that I know you're going to take me through. We're able to lean forward. Well, let me put those arms down. And we're able to lean back. Let's get down into the leg. I'm going to spread to the side there. Again,
that classic Spock stance.
Yeah, the Spock known for those kicks. But while I've got it down here, we're able to see that I can, if for some reason this is the pose you wanted to do, and we don't tell you what poses you can or cannot do here. If you wanted to have a stance like that, you see that I can get the feet to lay flat. Because as I said,
yeah, that's awesome.
Here we go. I'll turn a little light on there. That ankle will pivot like that.
You know, he straight up looks like He
lift
straight
that
up
up.
looks like he's getting ready to like start a dance for a Paula Abdul video or something.
Hey, yeah, straight up. Don't tell me.
Wait,
and we also
is
get
Paula Abdul in the Spock universe? I mean, in the Star Trek universe?
I'm sure she is somewhere in the
Yeah?
past. Yeah, we could
Wow,
always
I would have
do
been watching Star Trek way sooner.
yeah, I think Paula Abdul choreographed the Green Orion girl dance. I believe that. No,
The more you
don't think that. The more you know. Yeah, no. These are not true facts. Many of the Star Trek boards currently are telling you how Guy and Terry, as well as Paul, are full of beans. A Star Trek reference.
It's true.
All
It's
right,
true.
while I show the
I've got a-
extension
I've got
of
a
the
cool-
leg straight out, this allows us to do another element of the show. Say it, Terry.
It's time for Tread Watch.
Bam!
We nailed it, Sam. We are
All
in
right.
sync today. Yeah. Oh, was it Michael? Michael, dude.
Yep. Michael
you are
is
my guy.
rocking behind the camera. Yes, the Star Trek universe all had slick feet.
And I
Slick
love all
soles of
that,
the
all
shoes.
that the detail in that text that is also completely screen accurate as well.
Yes. You know, they probably would have said
Tread
something
watch.
like, you know, Leonard, there's LN, Leonard Nimoy size 10.5 or something like that. And I'm sure there was some reference point written on the sole at some point for something, but
I just feel like Leonard Nimoy wore a bigger size than a 10.5, man. I just feel like he's more like a 12, maybe a 13.
I am pretty sure that the fans of Trek out there will be chiming in on the chats. Alex
let it
Aronowitz, one of our moderators
actually-
here, is a huge Trek fan. He may have that knowledge. Now, Terry, before I move on any further, and we have kind of talked about how it's articulated, is there anything else you want me to go over or that others want me to go over before you and I do some posing?
Nothing's coming to mind right now, except I would like to give a shout out to Darcy Spence. Darcy, as you may remember, was the winner of our Ninja Batman figure a few episodes back. She received her figure apparently, and in addition, she decided to buy to accompany it the Ninja Joker figure. The Lord Joker figure is what I should say. And she sent us this awesome photograph of the two of them together in her. That is, in fact, an IKEA DTOF. Free plug, IKEA. Once more, yeah. Reach out to us, man. We can work wonderful things together, IKEA. You, me, Sideshow, Guy, Paul, everybody. Yeah. But yeah, look at that. Look how great those two figures posed together. We of course saw them posed together on the show, but it's just nice to see one of our fans who was a winner of this figure actually having a great time with it and expanding her collection as a result. We're all of us, Darcy. I especially am guilty of doing that very thing. I actually got a new figure in the other day, and I'm already thinking of things that I need to get to accompany it. So yeah, congratulations. Thanks for sending us that figure. Anybody else out there who wins any figures on the show, please feel free to reach out. Send us your images of them in your collection. We're always excited to see it. This is, of course, one of the many reasons why we love doing this show, is seeing things like this. So without further ado, Guy, I think we can actually move on into posing.
Spectacular.
You still with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm sorry, I'm lost in a world of figures and play. Beamed
Good place to
aboard.
be. Oh, Barry, dude, yeah, I
Oh,
meant to call
Barry.
you.
I was watching from my camper in the parking lot, so they wouldn't find me or see me. But I wanted to contribute to the show today.
Oh no.
Yeah, look.
You got a bull.
made my own Spock ears out of these popcorners.
There you go,
Yeah,
folks.
right.
You may have
Is
realized
that that's
Yeah,
Spock or Galadriel?
yeah.
So,
It's a
Whatever.
poor man's Spock here.
so today's
those.
show is
Literally.
brought to you by IKEA and Popcorners.
I'm wondering if Popcorners would want to sponsor the show.
I am right there. We're going to
Yeah.
put them right up there with IKEA, Barry. I mean,
These-
whichever one calls first gets the sponsorship at this point. So,
These are so good
Yeah.
when you're watching Star Trek. They're so
Don't do it, Barry. No, Barry, don't.
Oh
No,
no.
Barry.
Those are so
Oh, Barry.
good.
Oh, God. Get to the trailer.
This takes me back to old times. Old times.
Oh.
Me and my 6 months younger brother Barry eating things that we've just stuck in our ears, and him making me laugh so hard that I snort coffee through my nose. So thank
Yeah,
you.
he got
Thank
me
you
too.
For thanks for the memories, Barry.
Oh,
Just
no.
want to mention that Popcorners and IKEA are not sponsors of the shows. I should
No,
probably mention that legally. But thank you. If you are looking, please reach out to social@sideshow.com, IKEA and Popcorners. Thank
Thanks
you.
for,
Okay, guys,
thanks,
keep
thanks
going.
again. Thanks again, Paul.
Popcorners at this
You're
point
always
is
taking me-
probably now sending out a cease and desist letter at any point.
Paul is usually saving me from embarrassing legal entanglements, and he's done it once again. Thank you so much, Paul. For
Well, we've got new viewers, and I'd like to have a show tomorrow. So it's Oscar season.
You know,
all right, gentlemen.
All right, we can get to posing. I wonder what it would be like to mind meld with Barry. Mind melding with Barry Smith would be just a heck of a thing.
No, what?
Yes, wow. So, all right, Terry, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this.
As you can see, he's ready to go.
Dude, that's actually okay. Let's pause right now before I get up, and I'm gonna plug myself back in so that so that you talking to me doesn't cut out my audio. But let's just look at that right now. Let's just look at that pose that you've hit right there while I don't know if you did that while Barry was talking or what.
I did.
But what we're looking at here is actually it's actually a really good combat pose. Because if you ever paused like a Star Trek episode in which they're in combat, or one of my favorite things is when they cut to commercial and when they cut back in the middle of a tense scene, you'll see the characters they're hitting. Like I specifically remember McCoy doing this a lot, where he'll just be doing this. They'll cut and like nobody's moving, nobody's doing anything, but McCoy will just be like this. When the camera starts, when they say action, he's already posed like this, and he's just not moving at all. It's ridiculously cheesy 1960s stuff, and I love it so much. But what you've done there is basically, whether you did it intentionally or inadvertently, you've nailed that. That's exactly the kind of pose that you would see a character hit when they break after they break to commercial, and they come back from commercial. You'll see them holding a pose like that before they actually move into whatever they were doing. So that's actually a really awesome thing that you might be able to pull off. But I think we can do something else, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just go ahead. What I would like to do is I've actually put a dagger on my belt, as you can see here.
Hopefully you're staying at home and not heading out to the bank.
I live in Missouri, dude. This is like everyday apparel in Missouri.
Missouri.
Remind me to tell you the story of the first time that I went to a town called Richwoods when I had long hair. Back in the 90s when you didn't see a lot of that. But let's see here. So what we want is just if you got a hand that kind of just has like a relaxed, almost grip.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm thinking about is there a way we could rest his hand on that dagger without knocking it off?
That's an interesting idea. You bring that up, and let's take a look. I want to first show the one that is currently on it, which is a relaxed hand, kind of on that dagger there. It is. Yeah. Our other options are the one is probably not what you're asking for, which is really a gripping hand for use with the dagger or phaser. Now, we do have that one that holds the agonizer that has kind of that raised thumb. I'm going to move the arm out of the way for a moment. Whoop.
Okay.
Of course, I'm going to use that, bam, right back on with the magnet. See that? God, you got to love magnets. I love that they've done that. But that would kind of be the hand. Can we get that close up? Hopefully that works a little bit.
No, Guy, I think I would rather see the actual dagger hand.
Okay.
And here's what you'll probably have to do. Just go ahead and take the dagger off and put it in the dagger wielding hand.
Will do.
And then we'll return it to the Spock just has this when he stands, his feet are just like a regular shoulder width apart.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to do is we're going to get his hand on that dagger, and we're just going to have him resting his hand on it like this.
All right.
And then his other hand will just be resting behind him. He's just going to stand tall and stoic. Okay.
Now,
And we'll get that stern expression on. He'll have that stern expression on his face. What you called the you had a word that you
Contemplative?
used to describe it. Contemplative. That's the one.
now I am going to do this and have the dagger there. Something I want to talk about, because I know I've got the legs in a further stand there, or stance. Am I going to turn the head, chest, hip? Am I doing any movement in that?
Negative.
All right. We are going
Negative.
really very straight on.
That's it. This is something. This is a rarity for those of you who watch this show a lot. You'll know that this is very much a rarity. In fact, I frequently advocate for the exact opposite of what I'm suggesting that Guy does today. I'd like to work every point of articulation on the figure whenever it's possible, but when doing so actually causes the figure to break from character, then of course we don't want to do that. But again, Spock is very stoic. It's not quite military-esque, his posture, but it's really, really close to it. So you want to keep that in mind, almost like he's at parade rest, because again, not only are we dealing with a Federation Spock here, we're dealing with a Terran Empire Spock, and that's an even more militaristic society than the Federation could ever hope to be.
We're ruled by terror.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. What was the phrase, Paul?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here.
Oh, sorry, man.
You're on
on.
spot.
Thanks to Alex Aronowitz for actually sharing this with us beforehand.
Terror must be maintained or the Empire is doomed.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
Rolls right off the tongue. Thank you, Alex, who is also messaging me. Always looking
Did he
out.
message you with it right then after I asked?
Yeah, he's watching live.
Alex Aronowitz is magic, dude.
Champion.
Seriously. All right. Okay, Guy, one thing I want to point out is look at how see how my left arm is right here? I'm going to move over here so you can get
Yes.
a good look at it. See how it just comes out a little bit here, then then it breaks at the elbow and then goes behind?
That's what you want. A little more out then.
Less this and more this. Yes, that's it. That's it. So typically, so here's what we've done here. This is my thought on this. And people who are bigger Star Trek fans than I am can feel free to disagree with me here, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but my thought is that you frequently see Spock, Federation Spock, with both of his hands behind his back, and that's cool. But this is a different sort of Spock. He's very much the same as Spock in a lot of ways, and Kirk brings that up in the episode at length. But what I've done here is just shifting that right hand onto the dagger gives the implication that he's much more prone to violent action. And I think that really speaks volumes about the character as we see him in the episode Mirror, Mirror. If I had this figure, that's probably exactly how I would have it posed on my shelf. Do we have a cool backdrop? Is there something you could step away for here? Or
I'll beam out.
Oh, yeah, we have a backdrop. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I'm sensing a new tattoo coming on. So, right?
I love Barry.
I'm gonna have that
the I
written
Heart
on the
Barry
dagger.
tattoo.
Yeah, Barry. I totally expect. If you're still there and can hear me, Barry, I expect you to get the accompanying tattoo that says "I love Terry."
And there's the dagger right there, or a similar
awesome.
style design with that open handle.
Dude, I want to paint my wall like that.
Don't give me any ideas, Sam.
That's not a backdrop. That's actually
I still have to paint.
Barry actually painted that on the wall last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did.
So you are putting my brother to good use. That's good to know.
Well, he's got to do something. You never know what he's going to do.
Uh-oh. Speaking of which.
They're still
So,
stuck in his
yeah,
hair.
I painted that. That's on the side of my van.
I really hope that you wash your hair more than I do, Barry. It's if you're gonna eat those anyway.
About the same. Did I hear you guys say there's a show tomorrow?
There is indeed a show tomorrow. It's our special Hobnobbing with the Stars episode. Yeah, we talked about that. I guess you were probably just still out in your you were still out in your trailer at the point. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're Winnebago. Yeah, not a trailer. We're Winnebago.
Yeah, Winnebago.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be featuring a lot of 6 scale figures, stuff that's in stock at Sideshow. We'll be making an appearance. Stuff that if you want to take it home tomorrow, then you can. I mean, if you want to order it, it'll be sent to you tomorrow, I guess would be the proper way to put it. Paul, you've got some more details on that, I believe. Is that yeah? Putting you on the spot there, brother.
Tomorrow 10 a.m. everyone. Again, we may have some giveaways. You're just gonna have to tune in to find out. But we've got multiple figures tomorrow, not just one, and maybe some surprises. And of course, shenanigans will be had. Pardon my language.
Us? Shenanigans? No.
Well, I'll try to be here. I don't know if I can do it, but 2 days in a row.
I'm sorry. I'm not hearing you, Barry. Is everybody else hearing him?
Can you guys hear me?
You know, I'm not too mad about it.
Oh, I'm really regretting that.
Yeah, his Winnebago's in a tow zone, so he better get going.
We've got a comment here on YouTube. Another, and it's a fair point, and one that I should have brought up. But another classic pose would be actually to take that hand, or maybe take the little the agonizer holding hand and use that to stroke his goatee, much as I do frequently when I'm on this show. It seems like a natural idea and one that could be readily implemented. But
I like everything about that.
Yeah, I do too.
I like that it's a hold the agonizer or stroke the goatee pose hand.
Yes. And it's a simple thing. I mean,
wow,
I don't
that
know
was
that
quick.
I don't know that you can. Yeah, there we go. Nailed it. And you can have him with his hand behind his back like that, his left hand behind his back
cool.
like that, or you can hang it at the side. But yeah, that's serious stuff right there.
When we talked about that,
Yeah.
they've done that extra articulation on the shoulder, kind of giving it that extra. What I want to do is spin this to the side to show that, oh yeah, it's, if I want to have that actually physically touching that goatee, boom, it's there doing it.
I think this is something I want to point out, Guy. I just want to point out that frequently during the show, I'm making suggestions for correcting the posture, but we're really seeing signs of your diehard Star Trek fandom here today, because you didn't need any direction whatsoever on that Spock posture. You just nailed it right out of the gate without even trying.
This is a figure I've really been looking for. EXO-6 is also doing some really fun teases, trying to help you as a Star Trek fan guess what's going to happen. What are they going to do? What are they going to do next? And I'm trying to remember some of the teases for this, but it was one of those, oh my God, are we going to get a Mirror universe? Oh my goodness, I think we're finally getting Spock. I say finally, and EXO-6 is really very fresh. Now, their creative team has been in the 6-scale world for quite some time.
Yes.
But, and they bring all of that knowledge to what I believe is probably their biggest passion, which is Trek. And you can see that in this one. You can see this in the other figures they've done. I am crazy excited to see what they're going to do. The first figure we received from them was Data. Then we had Picard. We've had Janeway, the emergency medical hologram. We now have Mirror Spock. If you are following, even up on the pre-order page, as well as following them or Sideshow, you know that Q is now also up for. Yes, Q is spectacular. So, Judge Q. So, really looking forward to that. And they just keep upping the game in what they're doing. Their passion and their love for this and for Trek definitely shows. And for those of us that are passionate fans of Trek, it is such an incredible thing to finally go, okay, and feel that we have Trek as best as it could ever be.
Yes. I really quick comments here from a single songwriter who's a longtime viewer of the show. He's here pretty much every week, and I much appreciate seeing him again. I hope EXO-6 does Uhura. So say we all, my friend. I think you can count on multiple versions of Uhura. I would be very surprised if they went any other way with that. I hope to see. I don't know that they'll do the entire crew for the Enterprise with the Terran Empire gear, but I really, really hope that they do a Terran Empire Uhura. That was a great variation of her costume, and she looked fantastic in it. So yeah, I really hope that we see that. I think we can count on seeing Kirk. That's just a no-brainer. That's going to happen. But anybody who's actually paying attention, and I can't remember the name of the show that's going on in 2 weeks at in Chicago, but there's a Star Trek convention happening in Chicago. EXO-6 is going to be there, and they're going to be revealing a massive number of figures. I'm sure we can look forward to seeing an amazing display there. Yeah. So if you have the opportunity to follow that in any way, or if you live around the Chicago area or remotely close, as I do,
yes,
you might consider
taking the shuttlecraft. Get there,
getting yourself an Amtrak ticket at 7 o'clock in the morning from St. Louis and going all the way up to Chicago for a day or two and checking out what EXO-6 has to offer, as well as hanging out with them.
Alex Aronowitz says Mission Chicago is what it's called.
Mission Chicago.
That's it. Thank you, Mission Chicago.
I know, Terry, with you going to that, you and I will be doing a lot of FaceTime video calls. That's day.
Assuming I go. It's still
doing that day. So, but I am very, very excited. Do not pass up on this. This is the first of the original series figures they're doing, and I think this is just one that if you were hesitant on the pre-order, you would not want to be without.
Cool.
Yeah. Wow. Just crazy.
I think that's probably a wrap for today's show. I just want to give a quick shout out to EXO-6 and thank them for sending us this figure, giving us this exclusive first look. We were able to get this figure before anybody else and bring it to you here today. Also on your other show that you did yesterday, that went live yesterday, the first look that you did for the figure, guys. So we're really grateful for that opportunity, and so thanks everybody at EXO-6 for thinking of us and working with us on this. Furthermore, there's just one last reminder that we do have another show tomorrow, our Hobnobbing with the Stars episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually going to wear a bow tie. Yes, that's right, because bow ties are cool. Doctor Who reference. I never turned down an opportunity to reference Doctor Who. And with that, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We know you got a lot of things you could be doing in the middle of the day on Tuesday, but you chose to hang out with us. Unless you're in London and it's 5 o'clock or so there, and
then enjoy your dinner.
In that case, enjoy your dinner or whatever else that you would enjoy at 5 o'clock in London. All the newcomers that we mentioned and those that we didn't get a chance to mention, or whoever didn't shout out, again, thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you back here because we do have a lot of fun doing this show, and we try to make sure everybody else has a lot of fun along with us. And with that, everybody, thanks for watching. Thank you to Paul for holding things together there at from the technical end. Thanks, Guy, for just nailing that pose with Spock as always. And producer Alan, producer Sam, producer Michael, my brother Barry for making an appearance. He doesn't
for
always
painting
show
the
up,
wall
guys.
like that for us. Way to go, Barry.
It's a common treat. It's a common treat, but not an everyday one. And once more, shout out to everybody watching. Thank you so much. And until next time, don't forget to let your geek side show.
Bye, everyone.